Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Jason, keep real FOREX King, back for a weekly Forex forecast for the week of the 26th to the 3rd. And the first thing we do is check out the calendar. So for the 26th, nothing too crazy going on the Sunday. Mostly low impact news affecting the NZD, New Zealand, and or the AUD. Monday, nothing too crazy going on in the market. There is high impact news for JPY. Overall, a lot of low impact or medium impact on New York session. Then we get into Tuesday, where there's a lot of news, but mostly low impact, affecting multiple different pairs. There is high impact news affecting the Canadian pair for New York session at 8:30, the GDP M/M. So just be cautious for that. Then you get to the Asian session, the AUD, high impact news for CPI YY. So those are the only two big events on Tuesday. Just be cautious, especially if you're scalping around those times. Then you got Wednesday, where it's mostly yellow folders with a lot of low impact news. But also during London session, there is news for GBP, the BOB Gov Bailey speaks. That's going to affect the pair a little bit, as well as in the USD market. Well, New York session for the USD pairs, you had the ISM manufacturer PMI, so it's going to be fairly volatile. So be cautious when trading this. Trade with volatility at 10 a.m. And then Thursday, overall, mostly loan pack news, some medium pack, but there is tentative news for the New Zealand pair where it's going to be volatile sometime throughout the day. And then Friday to end the week, mostly low impact news events. And then you have like high impact news for the ISM Surge PMI at 10 a.m. to New York session. So this is pretty much what's going on for the week. And now let's look at the charts. So for the Euro USD, this is a 1 hour chart. Last week we definitely ended on a downtrend. Overall, this pair is a downtrend. So for this week, we could either create support and gradually shoot back up to the zone area and create a retracement, reversal candle, and then shoot back down to create a lower low to continue the downtrend. Or we could literally, during Sunday, Monday, we could literally just continue dropping down till we form some type of support and then quickly come back up before we shoot back down. But ultimately, it is a downtrend on a 4 hour chart. We literally could drop all the way down to the area of previous support and rejection. Worst case, we could literally just continuation down here before we come back up. And now let's look at the GBP USD. So this is 4 hours. The last week we ended on a downtrend. This pair had been kind of consolidating overall downtrend. So right now, what I see in the market, if I scroll back out and come back in, we had an option where we could continue go down lower till we hit an area of support before we come back up and then shoot back down. Or, we could literally just play around and a little come back up before we shoot back down. Or we could literally still play around till we get create air support and come up, or we could continue shooting down. But ultimately, it's still overall a downtrend based off the 4 hour chart as well as the daily. It just been a lot of consolidation on higher time frames, going back and forth. But on a daily, we could literally try to break this area, or we could just try to retrace up one more time before we shoot back down. And for GBP JPY, we are on the uptrend still. So we scroll out, I see us either being continuation to create a high and then come down for the support and then shoot back up to the zone, or we could literally, just come back down a little bit, play around before we shoot back up. Just looking for buys for GBP JPY this week. And for GBP CAD, so there's news event affecting this pair. Right now, I'm just looking for buy opportunities when it comes to catch the area of support. I see us shooting back up to this area. And once we're in this area, I'll look for sell opportunities to come back down. So right now, I'm just observing the market to see if we're going to create an area of support around here before we start to come back up. And GVCHF. So right now, overall it's downtrend. Last week we did slowly try to come up. So I do see probably a continuation till we get around the zone area, around the 70.6. 100% retracement zone, look for sell opportunities to ride back down. That's the setup I'm looking for. Or we could literally come down here and then shoot back up. And then we respect here for reverse panel, we could just come back down. And as for US 30, I'm looking for ultimately buy opportunities because right now, last week, we've been dropping. So I'm trying to see where we're going to create their support. And then we're going to slowly probably ride it back up down to this area for me to look for sell opportunities. Let's go to the daily chart to see what's happening with the Dow. So ultimately, I'm seeing how the market respects this area of support. If we respect this area of support, we're gonna come back up. We break up here, obviously gonna be continuation higher, but I see us, potentially come back up and then coming back down. And last but not least, let's look at gold to see what is going on with this. So gold then dropping. So right now I'm trying to see if we're gonna create a support this week, Sunday, Monday, and see if we're gonna ride it back up. We come back up and look for some opportunities to come back down. So that's what I'm looking at for gold. Or we could just be more continuation. We could literally just drop down, continuation until we create area support and then ride back up and then come back down. So that's pretty much my analysis for the week for some of these pairs. Definitely be cautious for the time when the volatility hits with the news events for the high impact news events. And remember, trade what you see, not what you think, and practice good risk management. Really know we out here. Peace.